Before we get into this one, guys, I'd love to shout out Pratt Electrical Group. Pratt Electrical Group can handle all of your needs from electrical and data while also being available for 24/7 emergency calls. You can find their number and email on their Facebook and Instagram pages. For the Coaches Box viewers, Pratt Electrical will be giving 10% off your needed services when calling and mentioning you heard them through the potty. Alright, let's go. And boy, oh boy, I'm keen to be back. Episode 10. It's going to be a bit of a different episode, this one. It's going to be all about my journey to Queensland and the reality of what it is like moving interstate, because I put out a poll, or not a poll, a post on Instagram about sort of questions and people want to know, and I got a huge response, which I was really surprised about. So we're gonna go through most of those ones, and then I'm just gonna pretty much explain all of the bits and pieces on the way. So to start off with, it was a footy related question. Am I gonna miss playing footy down in SA at the local Heart and Soul Christie's Beach? Yes, I will be. I'll be killing to get back there and play. That's been my club for my whole life, and yeah, I'd kill to go back there right now and just get involved, get amongst the boys. They're gonna have a killer year this year. I can see them going the whole way if they put their minds to it. So good luck to the old Saners down in the local region of Adelaide. Angus and Jimmy, what was the biggest challenge and what's helping you get through those challenges? For me, the biggest challenge is probably coming into the unknown and not really knowing anyone here or what I'm really doing. But the way I sort of got through that was just backing the process and what I believed I was doing. So I wanted to do this since I was in year 12. I sort of decided within myself that I really wanted to make a move interstate and study, just to explore and adventure, and yeah, I sort of now just back my instincts, and also having housemates that I've moved in with that are awesome. That has also helped all the challenges and whatnot. So yeah, probably just coming into the unknown and not knowing what's going to happen, but we'll get to more challenges down the track. Jace, biggest struggle moving. Probably the biggest struggle overall is just the mental challenges. There's been tough late night thoughts, overthinking days, and to be honest, in about a week in I got here, I sort of was mentally ready to pack my bags and come back home. It's a huge deal. It definitely does take a lot of mental strength, but it's doable. It's probably not for everyone, taking a big leap, but if you do want to take a big leap, I suggest just sending it and going for it, because I believe in the you only live once sort of saying, and if you don't do it, you might regret it down the track, and you probably will regret it down the track if it is a real passion of yours. So yeah, those mental thoughts, I don't know, I feel like to lay it out really, I think every night I've sort of been at some stage struggling. You just think about home, you miss your family, you miss your friends, and since I came over here by myself, I don't really know anyone other than my housemates, so it can be a really lonely place, and yeah, you have to mentally be strong and try to get through it. So yeah, but I'm lucky enough to have a great support group back home, which with the technology these days, it's one click and you've got a FaceTime call. You can just call them, you can message them and whatnot. So it's awesome having that support group, and for those mental challenges and phases you go through, you can always talk to someone. Josh, when did you realize that this shit is actually happening? Yeah, that's a great question. To be honest, I'm still not sure if it's hit me yet, and if I've realized I'm actually over here. But to choose a moment would probably be getting off the plane when you arrive. So you sort of sit there the whole time and you think, shit, it's getting pretty serious now. But when you land and you touch base and it's like, this is my home now, it hits you. And And probably the other time that it really stuck in was when my parents left to go back to SA, because they did come over here for about, I think it was 8 or probably a bit over a week. And they used it as sort of a holiday, and they really wanted to settle me in, which I'm grateful for. It's paid off now. I've got everything sorted and whatnot. So I'm hugely thankful for that. But I think when they left and flew back, it was the moment where you realize, yeah, this is sort of it. I'm here by myself now. It's up to me, and life for the next year or 4 years or however long I'm here for is what I make of it. So probably the plane ride, and definitely, yeah, my parents heading back to SA. Do you miss your mum? By mum, yes, of course I miss mum and dad and the family and friends. It's not easy to sort of just move away. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than what it was. I've always been close with family, and I guess I'm grateful for that. And that's just not mum and dad, that's my whole family. They're always there whenever you need, and you always see them at least a few times a year on your celebrations and birthdays and whatnot. So do I miss my mum and dad? Yes, hugely. I cannot wait already to get past my first trimester in uni and get back to SA and just visit, because once you move out, you sort of appreciate what you had. And I'll be honest, like, I took a lot of what mum and dad did for granted, because it's just the life you know. And then as soon as you move out and do everything for yourself, it's sort of it hits you a little bit, and you go, wow, like, they did do a lot for me. And now I can realize that I'm 19, I am living on my own now, and yeah, I can look back and go, wow, like, I'm super grateful, and I can't believe I just didn't do the dishes every now and then, and I didn't wash my own clothes and whatnot. And now it's all happening, and you learn that as you go. But yeah, super grateful and miss those guys. A lot. Tanil, how are you going without friends around, and do you know anyone up there? All the best. Thank you so much. Geez, that's going back. Tanil, it's hard because, coming up and not knowing anyone is a huge challenge, but I sort of embrace that in a way. I think not having any friends, it's super hard, but it's sort of a blessing in disguise, because it makes you want to go out and force yourself to socialize. I'm super excited for uni. I cannot wait, and just for the social side of it, to go in and just talk to people. Especially, the best thing about uni, in my opinion, is when you go and do what you want to do as a degree, you're surrounding yourself with people that are wanting to learn and are interested in the same thing. So it's going to be awesome just to go and attend those classes and meet new people. And before you know it, hopefully I'll have a whole bunch of friends and be able to go out and do whatnot. But I'm going okay. It's getting there. Everything's happening slowly. And yeah, I don't know anyone up here, so it's tough. But as I said, my housemates, they're awesome. We've become close mates already, and gone out for dinners and whatnot. And yeah, so it's awesome. Trish, how do you deal when your mum cries? Yeah, it's tough. No son is able to easily watch your mum be obviously sad that, you're, especially as a younger son. I'm obviously not a parent, I can't talk from experience, but I'd say as a younger son, it is harder for the parents, just because it's kind of, this is it now. Like, they have both, in my case, my older brother, he moved out a little bit ago now and bought his own home, and that's awesome. But when he moves out, it's super hard for mum and dad, but they still have their younger son. So for me moving out, I knew it was going to be a huge deal, and it was going to be really tough. But yeah, mum's getting better. A lot of you out there listening probably know my mum is awesome, but she's very, very emotional when it comes to her sons and her kids. So it's tough watching your parents be upset, but staying in contact and calling every day and stuff like that just to check in is makes everything a lot easier. So yeah. But Sam, how do you have a lot of money? Mate, I do not have a lot of money. I don't know where you've kind of got that from, but I saved really well when I was going through high school. From probably the ages of 14, 15, I worked in hospitality, which single-handedly already paid better rates than you'd work in, a KFC or a Macca's or a retail sort of store. And I was just really good with my money throughout those high school years. You have your fun, you do whatever you want, but each paycheck you get, you sort of have to make sure you save a certain amount. So I definitely do not have a lot of money, but throughout high school when I saved well, and it has allowed me to come over here and pursue a passion without having to stress too much about money. But in saying that, it does bring up the whole job struggles that I've had. So since I came over here and didn't actually have a job lined up, which if I could go back 3 months now, I would try my absolute hardest to make sure I have a job lined up, because it was probably one of the, again, going back to the struggles, it was probably one of the biggest struggles, especially mentally, coming over here and watching you sort of paying rent, you're paying food money, and it all adds up so quickly, and not having a job, you're using money from your saver that you've saved for your whole life. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what the saver's for. But you don't want to lose all of it and be stuck in a situation where you don't have any money to obviously pay for rent, and you're in an uncomfortable situation. So job struggles were really intense for me, and even though it was only a couple of weeks, I was starting to get really anxious, and each night those mental challenges would get harder and harder. And thankfully, I have found a job now, which is awesome. I wanted to stay away from the hospitality industry just because I've done it, and I'm not too keen on going back. And I want experience in a different area. So I am grateful I got a job at a local retail, at a harbour town actually. So it's good, cheap clothes and whatnot. But yeah, I got a job in retail, and it's perfect hours around uni, weekend work, so good rates and all that. And I still have the nights to go out, because that is one thing I didn't like about hospitality. And that's just how it is though. You work nights, you dedicate yourself to work nights and weekend nights, so you don't get to go out and have as much fun with your mates. But I wouldn't change how my last 3 years of work went, because I gave up those weekend nights when I wasn't even old enough to go out and hit a club up and stuff like that. I sacrificed those nights to be able to rake in the money and save, and it allowed me to ultimately do what I'm doing now. So wouldn't take that back, but yeah, grateful I've got a job now, and that can be a huge struggle. So I recommend, if you're going to be moving interstate, try to have a job lined up before you come over. Josh, the GOAT small forward, my man. How hard was the decision? Mate, it was a bit of both really, because for me, it was easy in the way that I knew this is what I wanted to do. This was my goal at the start of year 12. If you're close to me and you've been in my life for the last couple of years, you know that I sort of had this as a plan, as an option, and it didn't go to plan straight away. After year 12, I sort of worked for a year, and then I've come to the last couple of months, I came to obviously the decision to do it. But it has been easy, like I said, in the way that I had my mind made up, this is what I want to do. But then again, in saying that, the decision was hard as well, just due to knowing you're leaving everything behind. And it is not easy just to pack your bags and walk out. Like I said before, I thought it was going to be a lot easier. It's not as easy as you think. And yeah, so easy in the way that, yeah, had my mind made up, but hard just with it all, just with everything. So yeah. Zach, part 1. How have you found settling in and starting a whole new chapter in your life? I found settling in now okay. So once you sort of have everything worked out, and your house, your room, you get your food, you get everything sort of rolling in a routine, you find everything really comfortable. But to start with, it's especially if you've never lived out of home. Boy, oh boy, it is intense. It is crazy. So, for the whole starting a new chapter in my life, I'm taking this as it's an exciting opportunity. And in my opinion, if you're going to do something like this, like I have, moving interstate for uni or just going on a gap year, if you don't take that that whole new chapter in your life as a great opportunity, there's no point really doing it, because this is the reason I'm here. I'm here to create memories, take opportunities, and hopefully pathways that will lead me into an exciting career or future. So, whole new chapter in my life. I'm just super keen. I'm keen to get grinding with study, get grinding with work, and just living it up, really. Scariest part of the whole move, Zach part 2. Probably the scariest part, on a bit of a more deeper and emotional note, was is losing the relationships you have with people. So, especially in a close relationship, I've been in a relationship for 5 years, and for me, it's just, you feel just so emotionally drained and whatnot, because I've been with someone since, this pretty much the start of high school. Like they're all you've ever known. And in doing something like this, unfortunately, those things have to come to an end. Generally, you can do long distance and whatnot, but you sort of, you discuss that with your partner. And in our case, we decide to let ourselves grow and take opportunities as they come, because we still, I think, can sit down and honestly say that we want to be, with each other in the future, and we can see a future with each other. I personally would love this woman to be, the mother of my kids, and to be the one that I end up living the rest of my life with. But in saying that, I'm so grateful she pushed me to take this step and to live out my passions and dream of moving to the Gold Coast, and just seeing what pathways can come, because obviously the reason I've done this is for me in Adelaide, in SA, I sort of didn't have anything running for me, didn't have any aspirations as such, and this was my huge goal and target. So scariest part is losing those relationships, and it is tough, but I'm super grateful for that person to push me and help me make this move. Matty Walton, may I say, quick shout out. This fella played a couple of Sample Reserves games with him, and he's out at Flaggy. He was out at Flaggy Footy Club until now. He's been invited out to the development sample squad with the Crows, the Crowy boys. Super proud of you, mate. We messaged the other day, and I think I sent a photo to you, and because it was you in the Crows outfit with the boys. Oh, Jesus, that fella looks familiar. And it was you, mate. So I'm super proud of what you're doing. Hopefully all the best for the future, and you can get grinding on that. Is there a diverse range of meals being cooked, you ask? Mate, I've never been great with my cooking. To be fair, I haven't really ever cooked that much, because mum and dad have just been absolute soldiers with that. But I I have meal plans. So right now, second week I was over here, I did spaghetti bog, so pasta, nice and easy. You cook up a whole bunch, man, and that's what I've done. I froze, I think, five meals worth, chicken stir fry, and then I got a bit of barbie food, a bit of chicken, whatnot, and so there is a diversity of meals being cooked. It's super hard as well, because you find that if you want to be healthy and you want to have great solid meals, especially when I'm doing my gym and all that, it costs more, man. And I think that's how the takeout industries, fast food industries, they just rake in so much money, because it's cheap, it's easy, and it's most likely on the way home after a footy training or on the way home after work and whatnot. So I have been pretty good with my meals. Like I said, spag bowl, chicken stir fry, bit of barbie food, and just some frozen meals. So I think I've been pretty good. And I recommend doing a bit of a cook up on a Sunday and planning out your meals for the week, because for me, like, I'm not going to have a lot of time in the next couple of weeks when uni and work and all that gets really full on, doing that is awesome because you can just pull it out the freezer for your lunch and your dinner and you just cook it up. So that is awesome. That's all the questions from Instagram that came in. Thank you all so much for that. That was awesome. I did not expect that sort of feedback and all that many questions really. So the last sort of bit I can give to you guys is a bit of advice from my end. If you are looking to do something similar to what I did and take that jump and move, you just got to do it. You never know what it will be unless you give it a red hot crack. So in saying that, you got to give it 100% effort. If you want to do something and it's like that with anything in life though. If you want to do something and you only give it a 50% crack and you're half-ass, it's not going to work out for you. Things are what you make of it. So I've come over here and I've said to myself, you know what? At least for the next year, I'm going to give this a bloody red hot crack. And if it doesn't work out, you know what? It doesn't work out. You can go back. I've thankfully got a home back in SA. I can go back and then discover another passion of mine. But you have to give it a try, because if you don't, and you just, for the next 20 years, do that everyday job that you think, oh, it'll be all right, it'll get me some money, you'll look back and you will regret it. You will go, what if I did take that chance? What if I did take that opportunity and sacrifice a year just to give it a crack? It could have been the best thing you ever did. Don't let other people's opinions change what you want to do. This was a massive one. I was lucky. Most people I talked to said, mate, just go for it. Like, this is an awesome passion you have and whatnot. But there are a lot of situations where people get influenced by what other people say. And I think if you're going to do that, you're going to struggle big time. You have to really rely on your instincts and what you want to do. Follow yourself, follow your own dream. This is your life. It's not, it's not theirs, so they can do what they want, but you do what you want. One of the last things is it's not actually that hard to make a big move like this if you plan it well. So yeah, like there's been, like I've said, this whole episode's pretty much been about the challenges and how hard it's been. But they come with doing anything in life. They're going to come if you move out of home in 5 years in the same state. They're going to come if you move to a different state. But it's not actually that hard if you plan everything right and you're really organized. I was super organized with all, or not super organized, but I think fairly organized, and having the help of the family and that to keep me up to date and make sure everything was happening. It is not that hard. If you save your money, if you have enough money in the bank to give it a red hot crack, it's very doable, and I recommend it because I've been over here for probably about 3 weeks now, and it has already been such an eye-opener. And I start work, I think tomorrow, and I start uni in a week. So I haven't even done the things I've been over here to do, and I'm already like, wow, this is crazy. I've learned so much about myself and about life as a young 19-year-old. So like I said, give it a crack, make sure you're 100%. And to finish off with, I'm going to give a bit of a quote. I love this quote by Tony Robbins. The only impossible journey is the one you never began. So like I just said before, go on the journey that you want to go on. I couldn't like say to you enough. Just go for it. You live once. Don't go 10 years by and just think, what if I did do that? And just give everything a crack, because if you don't do it, you'll never know what could have happened. So I hope I've inspired at least one person watching. Even if I haven't inspired, just made you guys realize that it's doable. You can follow your dreams, you can chase your passions, and I hope that you've all enjoyed episode 10, the reality of moving interstate. And I cannot wait to continue providing some good content for you guys. I'm hoping to keep it running, have a few guests on in the future. But if not, I'm super keen just to find out what you guys want to hear about, and keep my journey flowing really. So get on the Instagram, Coach Sports Podcast, on Facebook as well. DM me anything, voice audios, questions. Don't be afraid to message the page. And super keen to keep rolling with it. And thank you for the support. I love you all. Coach's Box Podcast. Baz. Cheers.